Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Bone Podcast, where we discuss all things crypto markets. That includes the majors like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, meme coins, and of course, NFTs. Today, we're going to discuss some massive news for DeFi on the back of Uniswap's fee swap proposal. We're going to talk about the imminent ending of the government shutdown and what that means for our crypto bags. And we're going to figure out if the lows are already in for November. Thank you all for listening today. If you're listening on Twitter, give us a like, give us a comment, give us a bookmark, give us a repost. If you're listening on Zora, where we're now streaming daily, let us know what you want us to talk about. Same thing for YouTube. Love our YouTube commenters as well. Let us know what you guys want to talk about today. I'm joined here today by Easy. Easy, how you feeling today?
I'm good, Ray. How are you?
I'm great. It looks like you have all sorts of animal problems going on over there. I'm seeing chickens in the house. I'm seeing bobcats on the loose.
Dude. She just shows up and all of a sudden there's a new fucking animal. We had to put blankets on horses last night because it's 30 fucking degrees here.
Wait, so you just chuck a blanket on the back of a horse and call it a day?
Well, then you gotta tie it around them and shit. It's a process.
Oh man, I bet you never thought you needed horse blankets at any point in your life, but here we are.
No, dude, I don't know what the fuck that shit is. I don't know. I just want to golf, man. That's all I want to do. Just want to golf.
You got to put a par 3 on your estate now.
Yeah, that's up for debate. I'm currently getting outvoted on that.
Do the animals' votes count? I guess.
Yeah, I wish.
Oh man, we've got a lot to talk about today. Before we do, this show is brought to you in partnership by our friends over at StreamX. We've talked about StreamX before, trading on the NASDAQ, the STEX ticker. A bunch of Solana native people involved with this project, both in terms of management and advisors. They are releasing their GLDY USD gold stablecoin presale. This is now launching. They are selling $100 million worth of USD GLDY. Sorry, a lot of a mouthful there. Just announced yesterday, gold-backed stablecoin. Essentially, this is going to earn yield in gold. So you're going to be earning your yield directly in the stablecoin, a way to compound your gold holdings and get exposure to spot gold. It's going to be interesting seeing different stablecoins pop up, backed by different assets, earning different assets as yield as well. We've talked about USDAI before on the show with the compute and AI backing there. This one has gold backing. So if you're a gold head, this is one to check out. You can follow them at StreamX on Twitter. All of the links you need to participate are in there. So you can check this out. GLDY presale went live yesterday. So check that out. Take a look if you are interested. Love our friends over at StreamX, building serious things. NASDAQ listed, youngest CEO on the NASDAQ. That is Henry over there, absolutely crushing it. So big shout out to StreamX before we kick off the show today. There's a lot to talk about today, Easy. I'm pretty excited about a number of these stories. I shot you over the weather report link in the private chat, so maybe we'll do a little weather report action, and then we'll kind of dive into some of these.
Let's get into it, right? Looking at the weather report today, looking over the crypto roundup, majors pulled back on the day with Bitcoin under 105K, ETH just under 3,600, Solana at 163, and Hyperliquid holding $40. Seems the market is choppy after a decent baby rally yesterday. Over the past 24 hours, we've got a lot of news. The Uniswap CEO introduced a governance proposal to turn on Uniswap fees that will buy and burn the Uni token. Uni's up 23% on the day to a $5.4 billion vanilla market cap. Next up, the U.S. Senate approved a bill overnight that would fund the government and end the current shutdown. The bill now heads to the House, which is expected to vote on the bill tomorrow night. Big day. Big day. Finally, news broke this morning that the lighter Perpetual raised an additional $68 million in a funding round led by Founders Fund and Ribbit Capital at a $1.5 billion evaluation. Ledger's $280 million of volume over the last month surpassed Hyperliquid's volume over the same period. Back to you in the studio.
Excellent weather report as always, Easy. This lighter news kind of caught me off guard. 1.5 bill. What do you think about that in terms of valuation? Fair?
I don't really know. I haven't used Lighter. I mean, I look at the prediction market stuff. They are currently pricing in a 50% chance at a 4 bill FTV.
So a good round for Ribbit Capital and Founders Fund, it sounds
Yeah,
like.
68% chance it's over 3 bill, 84% chance it's over 2.4.
Interesting. I wonder how these numbers shifted on the raise. Do we have a slight move to the upside, it looks like?
Nice
Or
little 8% move. Hit the graph.
wait,
Press
hold on.
2 bill. Hit graph. Let's take a look. Yeah, nice grind up. Nice grind up from September. It's a good chart.
Yeah, so it looks like it wants to be between 2. I mean, I guess if it's greater than 2, it's also greater than 3 is how this works. You can hit multiple.
Well, it could be greater than 2, but less than 3.
Right. But if you take greater than 2 and it's greater than 3, you also hit on
Yes. Yeah.
not like
So say it opens up at a 4, or it closes at a 4 one day after launch. All 3 of those resolve yes.
Perfect. Yeah. So anyone just listening, we have the Poly market open for Lighters FDV one day after launch. Greater than $2 billion is at an 84% chance. Greater than $3 billion is at a 68% chance. Greater than $4 billion is at a 49% chance. Basically, a coin flip is going to be greater than 4 bill, which is pretty crazy. 6 bills at 25% chance. Looking over at the volume, 30-day volume, Aster leads all perp dexes with $313 billion. Lighter number 2, $279 billion, and Hyperliquid at 3, $266 billion, slightly behind Lighter. I believe the reason Lighter is doing so well is like twofold. One, airdrop farming, and two, they don't have any fees, right? There's no fees on Lighter right now.
No.
So that's interesting. Like as a marketing and user acquisition mechanic, having no fees. I don't know if they plan on like continuing that model post launch or how that is going to work. I really need to dive into Lighter more. Looking at the volume chart, it's been like a straight grind up since basically September. They put in local lows early September, and it's been up only since in terms of volume, as we've seen kind of perp dex season take over. Compared to Hyperliquid's volume, I mean, Hyperliquid's kind of steady and like almost on a downtrend over the last, the same time period. So Hyperliquid losing some market share. Their token is basically chopped over the last, call it 3-4 weeks in this 35 to 50 cent or 35 to $50 range. I'm curious your thoughts on Hyperliquid. I saw Arthur Hayes talking about it, basically saying like there's so much market compression on Hyperliquid right now with the competition and also with the team unlocks. And he said you'd have to be crazy to think that Jeff and the team aren't going to sell at least some tokens when this thing unlocks in, I believe like the fairly soon.
I'm torn if I agree with that. I could see them relocking.
You think you can see a relock on Hyperliquid?
Yeah.
Interesting. What do you make of the hype chart? Like, have you charted this recently?
Yeah, I charted it yesterday. One sec. I just found an NFT in a wallet that was worth 8 SOL.
Oh, let's go. What was it?
It's a Whales, WHAL3S. They're like an alpha group. I forgot I bought it, and I accidentally logged into the wallet. Just looked, and I was like, "Oh shit! Why does this have a 8 SOL offer? This is fucking sick."
There you go. You might be able to get another horse blanket.
Yeah, fuck. I can know. Yeah, because I was looking to go mint my wall chain, my quack.
I didn't get one. I was not part of the elite quackers, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know if I am. I haven't checked, so I'm like trying to figure out if I am. I'm like a top 5 on there, so I'm like I should be.
I imagine you would get that allocation.
Nope, not eligible.
Oh, you had there was actions you had to take. You had to like submit a wallet. It was the same thing that happened with the hyper or the Kaido. A lot of people weren't eligible for that NFT because they didn't submit their wallet on time.
I literally DM'd him, was like, what do I have to do?
That's unfortunate.
Let me get it up. Whatever. At the end of the day, we just made a calm, cool, collected
8 SOL.
8 SOL. Totally forgot I even had that. That was sweet. Yeah. Ooh, we're not in a great spot on hype. This were my lines. I had line in the sand here, break above green, we go long, break down below red, we go short. It's kind of the same for everything though. Like Sol approaching down, ETH flat, Bitcoin about to go short on Bitcoin, which the Bitcoin chart is my main concern because you have a very definitive downtrend still, which theoretically we should bounce if we break below this trend line, the orange line. That's why I want to short because you kind of have this trend line here.
Yeah, I was listening to Trader Main this morning, and he said we might have put in November lows on those wicks on the 4th.
So I think so too, but I think we could still retest it. That's my thing. I'm like, you could still retest, even though if lows are in, that just means we don't go lower. It doesn't mean we don't retest it. So on hype though, hype is still in like a very interesting place here. You have a pretty definitive wedge forming that I'm like, okay, this is very interesting because we failed the breakout here. So for those listening, we have a failed breakout on hype that attempted to get us up towards 44. I'm looking more for a break over 44. I don't mind if I don't catch the full move, but a break for me on hype, if we can get it, would be like a 10% move, and then we long it on momentum back up towards 47 with a stop at 40, just under 40, 39.70. We short it under 37.6 down to 35. So I'm definitely more on the longs than the shorts here with more upside potential. But that for me is why I'm kind of looking at it. I'm like more interested if we can see upward momentum versus downward pressure. Could we retest lows? Sure. But I personally would rather stay and lean on the upside target. I mean, I look at the S&P. We have a slight gap here, which I'm watching because you could, if you fill this gap, would basically put the lows back in on crypto, like here. So we'd go back towards those lows right here if we get that move, which I'm like a little bit cautious of. So I would rather remain cautious for any gap fill that we might get, which S&P yesterday theoretically could make a move like that, which is like a down move towards 670 before breaking back up. I would not hate that because then basically all the gaps are filled on this whole chart. And the thing that I like about the S&P is we are in a clear uptrend still. So like that's kind of where my head is on this. You'd still have the same like November 4th, November 5th, 6th, 7th lows, that wick low. So I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic. I look at ETH
on the S&P yesterday. I'm like I'm very like green in terms of charting, but I was looking at this the other day and there's so many daily gaps on this that date back all the way into like July. Like what are those going to fill? Like, or
we
like
probably won't, unless we get some like crazy sell off, we probably won't fill them because the thing is like shorter time frames, sure, you get gap fills. Like this whole move down filled this gap and this gap, which is what you wanted.
Right.
So I look at that and I like the 4 hour for a lot of this. If you look at the daily, right? The daily still has a gap all the way down at 603, all the way down at 575. And I don't know if we get those unless like something terrible happens. Like this whole sell-off was tariff driven and we filled the bigger gap there. So I'm like, that felt like a good enough gap fill for me because of how much of a gap we had on the bounce and then rally all the way back up. If you continue to look back, like, I mean, there's still gaps dating back to 2023, you know? And unless something absolutely terrible happens, we probably don't fill like this 440 area, probably doesn't get filled. Yeah, that's kind of the last one. I mean, there's a small gap here at 340 dating back to 2021. You'd have to have something terrible happen to fill those. Whereas like I look at something like these 3 lower ones that we have that we just kind of outlined on the S&P, which are near 600. So if we look at like, let me get a rectangle here just to outline where those gaps are. If you get any move that would sell us all the way down here, which I just don't see happening, then like these are areas that are like absolute buys. If we, for whatever reason, sold $81 on the S&P, at that point they would do an emergency rate cut because it's like that's so much capital lost. And that would be, what kind of move is that if we look? So from here, you would need an 11% move down for the first gap, 16% move down for the second gap, 22% down move for the third gap, which over a long enough timeline could happen. But I don't see this really happening for this cycle Because even then, as you continue to zoom out and look, last time we had a 21% gap was COVID, right? Like 21 to 2022. So that whole down move before we bounced, a 21% down move is where you buy. Like you just buy and pray that that's the end of it. We had a 35% move for COVID. So that was like an insane situation that we had. After that, you had the rally back, obviously here, where we rallied all the way back up in the coming months. Here would be where we had in 2021 was what was the situation? Tariffs, I think. I forget what it was.
Rates.
Rates were high. So just in general, but rates were high, and that was a move that dropped us all the way down to 27%. So I mean, we could theoretically fill those gaps that we have, right? We have an opportunity to where it's 22%. So it's not unheard of. In the last 5 years, it's happened twice. So that's to me is like, okay, if we get those moves down, then I would like to be buying. The last time we had a serious sell-off was 11%. And then we had the most recent tariffs, like that 21% move down or 11% move down that we had in 23, which is right here. And then you had a move down from the Trump tariffs, which was the last big buy opportunity, which was a 21% move. So yeah, 21% move is not unheard of. That's the thing. So like we could fill those gaps because this has happened once, twice, 3 times before in the last 4 years. If you get a sell-off down into the 530 range, even a grind down, like if the S&P just slowly trickles down, you'd buy in these green boxes. Like that puts us into July of 27, which would be crazy. You have a more accelerated sell-off, and we get like a move down into like October of next year. This is actually like where I could see like us topping, if anything. I'm more interested in a move that would kind of do something like that. Like that's the move I'm like closely watching is up and to the right towards like 800.
Gotcha. Yeah, I guess like potential issues that you could see would be like the Supreme Court overturning tariffs, and then there's being like chaos.
The overturn of tariffs, payback from the government side would be really fucking shitty. Like really shitty. But then I mean, did you see the Coin Bureau thing today that just came out?
Not yet.
China's claiming that the U.S. stole Bitcoin from them.
Oh no.
Yeah, so Coin Bureau today posted, or that might have been yesterday. Somebody posted in Bodago's Discord. Oh yeah, 4 hours ago. China accuses the U.S. of seizing 127,000 stolen Bitcoin worth $13 billion, calling it a state-level hack. So that's not great, right? Like that's not the things you want to see. But at the same time, with the S&P still showing that it's some level of strength here, I lean more bullish than bearish, and probably see even like a more upward move than anything else. So I don't know. When I look at these charts, I'm not very bearish. I do think eventually we get gap fills. Like these three actually, when you asked the question of like, could we fill these gaps on the daily? At first I was like, no. But then you do the comparison. You had a 22% down move from what was this date? December of 21 to October of 22, basically a full year. And that was the bear market. You had that full year bear before we grinded all the way back up through for the next 2 years. Then you had an accelerated down move off tariffs, which happened February of this year to April, a very accelerated down move. And then we grinded all the way back up. So I feel like if anything, we'd get a short-term move that would probably put us through January, if anything. Like the end of the year, maybe we'd get ugly and bears win for once, and then we rally twice as hard. But I don't lean that side. That's the thing is like, if anything, I lean more towards the bullish side, especially when I look at Bitcoin. Like this trend line is just holding. Until you break 100K, I don't want to be bearish.
That makes sense. Yeah. Also, I guess there's also concern that like this government shutdown bill is just a stopgap measure, and we could have like a second shutdown, which is another concern. Like I'm trying to like
when stopgaps happen, they tend to not be like bad. You know what I mean? Like a stopgap is usually a positive. So I look at that and I'm like, okay, this is way more interesting if we get a stopgap measure that gives us opportunity, because then they're at least talking again. And usually after the first stopgap, they figure out what they want to do.
That makes sense. Speaking of the shutdown, have you been trading this at all on prediction markets?
The shutdown, yeah. I got rinsed on one of them because I thought that they would be able to end it between the 8th to 11th. Went to bed, woke up, and was down. I took no on after the 16th, so I made it on that. The big thing I hit yesterday was mention markets. Trump had a mention market that was closed press, so everything resolved no. So I was just buying as many no shares as I possibly could.
So if it's closed to press, is it like nothing counts as being said? Like even if it's
yeah, yep. Like because the rules for it were you needed both of the individuals to be present on camera. So that was the thing, is like Trump did say that the Syrian president was like, he commended him, which ended up resolving yes. I took like a small no position on that. But if you look at this, it's all about the rules. The rules are always the most important thing. So like outcome, this was just straight up outcome no for everything. So I was like, okay, so you can see the Syria market was 80%. I started buying like right around here at 67, and you can see, or 84. Wow. So I got in kind of late. So like I was just buying as many of these as I possibly could. So like Israel, Gaza 6+ times. I was buying nuclear. I was buying so many different things, like 80 cents. I was just firing whatever I could get filled on, because I was like, okay, they're not going to air this. I saw the president went through the back door. The Syria president went through the back door, so he couldn't be seen. And I was like, okay, they're not going to put him on camera if he's not even going to the front gate. So that was like just being on the market and paying attention. I was like, okay, I wanted to trade the mention market. I didn't really have an edge because the founder's controversial. The president of Syria, not founder, but the president of Syria is controversial. So I wasn't too sure if they were going to be doing like a long talk. I leaned on the side of no anyway, because many times they're more cautious, especially like when he spoke with Netanyahu, the Israeli president. It was very short. So I leaned, and then China was very short. Xi Jinping was a very short talk. Public camera was like very short. I think there was only like 3 or 4 minutes of video footage of them together. So I was like, yeah, let's just err on the side of no. But back to the government shutdown stuff. This is like the one thing that is currently getting priced in, is that we get a shutdown tomorrow, because they vote on the bill tomorrow night, right?
It says that what I read is they're voting tomorrow night, then it's going to Trump's desk. I imagine as soon as it gets to Trump's
As soon as
desk,
it's there, it'll get signed.
Yeah.
So it all comes down to tomorrow night, which you got a 50% return if you think it ends tomorrow. November, this is like the other side of it, is if it doesn't happen tomorrow and Trump doesn't sign it, you're basically betting will Trump sign it that night.
Yeah. You got to monitor what time he wakes up, what he's eating during the day, figure out if he's got enough carbs to make it through for a late night, or if he can say, you know what, everyone's asleep anyway, we'll sign it in the morning.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Like, we got to figure all this out. When are we going to get you boots on the ground in DC for these mention markets? Easy.
So we're talking about it. It's more, how do I get into one of these things? Like, it's not easy to get into these. You need White House credentials. You need a bunch of other bullshit. So I'm like, okay, that feels like it might be a little bit more difficult. But we're gonna make it happen. I'm confident. I just want to get into an FOMC meeting this upcoming year. That's my only goal, is how do I get into an FOMC meeting?
We got to hit up Farouk and get the credentials.
Yeah, like how do I scheme on that?
Anything else that's been interesting to you in the prediction market space, whether it's tooling, whether it's other markets you're trading, or just like general thoughts?
I've been talking with Bullpen. I showed it on Thread Guy's stream. It's like basically a terminal for it. That my main thing is figuring out what markets are ending each day. That's what I'm the most interested in. Because for me, I would rather see stuff that's ending soon so that I can take a position on something somewhere. You know what I mean? That is where I think the best vertical is for it. Is I like short-term trades. I don't want to be holding a position for a long period of time. I guess I'm curious for you, Ray. When do you think the next Up Only podcast comes out?
I think we see it Black Friday.
This month.
I think we see it this month.
Really? So there's a 50% chance, coin flip, if we get it before November 30th.
Yeah, I think we get it this month.
Interesting.
I think we're gonna get a Black Friday up only. That's gonna be my prediction there.
That would be fun. That would be fun. I lean no. I kind of think we don't see it until next year. Cobie's doing customer support for Coinbase right now on Twitter. So I'm like, do we get it? Probably. I don't know.
Yeah, dude, that was wild. Looking at his account, for anyone who's not familiar, Cobie yesterday was replying to a number of accounts that were having issues. I guess like verifying ahead of this monad sale. Was that generally the issue?
Yeah, ahead of the monad sale was how to get accounts back.
Yeah, people are having issues, and he's been basically asking people to DM him like their email address, and he's been like handling all the customer service, which has been pretty funny. Somebody's like, I think OSFES said like, where'd it go? OSF said, brother, why do you love customer support so much? He said, I don't like stuff being broken.
I get it. I mean, you got to appreciate it. Like, what's crazy to me though, talking about this, is Coinbase is now launching their own ICO platform after buying Sonar and Echo. To me, is crazy because Cobie came out and said that they're not using the tech stack. So it's like, okay, did they just pay $400 million for Cobie? Like, is that what just happened?
Well, I think I mean, they're also going to continue to, Echo's going to continue to operate as they're operating.
As Echo, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they get the revenue from it, which is great.
Yeah. There's like a breakdown of so many customer support replies. I'm trying to go through Cobie's replies right now, but he does break it down, and he says like, essentially Coinbase is going to be like the big institutional ICOs. Echoes are going to continue to be like high risk, like lower market cap stuff. And then Sonar will be like the do-it-yourself platform where any platform can like use the Sonar tech to launch their own ICO, sort of like what Mega ETH did. You were going on Mega ETH's site using Sonar tech to make sure that all the investors are like KYC'd, et cetera, and then you use their platform to do your sale. So there's 3 different options now, and they're all under the Coinbase umbrella, which is
that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. I found it. Yeah, he simplifies what I said here. Coinbase token sales is basically a token sale launchpad. Sonar is a software for founders to self-host, i.e., don't use a launchpad at all. Echo is for much earlier stage asset access, higher risk seed rounds, etc.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. I mean, good products. I mean, I think the Mega ETH sale went off without a hitch outside of the drop afterwards. Everyone I've talked to who uses Echo enjoys it. I mean, you don't often win with VC investing. I think a lot of people on the outside who aren't like plugged in are just assuming everyone's printing like multiples on these VC deals on Echo, but in reality, it's like any other venture firm where 99% lose and your tokens are locked, and who knows what they're worth when you eventually get them. Who knows if the platform even has a token sale or like a TGE. So there's a lot of things that can go wrong with investing in crypto, and not everything is just roses.
No, God, no. And I think that's like the riskiest side of things, is doing it that way. I don't know. Me personally, I think you kind of could just take some flyers, maybe, but you shouldn't be in a rush to.
Let's move over towards the government. We have some big news out of the government. Started off with a story. I don't know if you remember John Deaton. He was running against Elizabeth Warren last year. He's a pro crypto candidate. He had some debates against Warren that were like very clipped in the crypto space. He basically was talking about crypto. Elizabeth Warren was saying like he's bought by all the big crypto companies, but he's back and he's running again against the other senator in Massachusetts, Senator Markey. And saying this one's going to be a closer battle where he hopes that he can end up getting in. Senator Markey is very anti-crypto, voted against the Genius Act. So this will be one to watch for coming up this election season. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. But more interestingly, in the government, we had some big news coming for staking ETPs. The Treasury and the IRS issued some new guidance giving crypto ETPs a path to stake digital assets and share staking rewards with retail investors. So this is going to really boost the ETFs, allowing you to invest in like an ETH or a Solana ETF, and then earn like not only price appreciation, but earn additional principal because they can stake your holdings to earn, additional tokens, which I think is going to be a big unlock that you really haven't seen in the traditional finance sector. So this is like, I think, pretty big news coming for.
I think it's good. So what tokens do we buy?
I think so. Our friend and controversial merchant of narratives on the timeline, ICO Beast, is basically kind of saying Solana DeFi, Meteor or Jupiter. Could be interesting here. I know you've been big on Radium as well. Radium could be interesting. I know Jupiter just partnered with Robinhood Wallet. They're powering some stuff going on the Robinhood side. I know you're a big Robinhood bull as well, but maybe like just a bag of these DeFi tokens could be interesting with the staking that's going on. You're going to see additional. You could see a ton of different ETFs opening up. They're changing how the guidance works. You could see like all kinds of tokens available. So I think anything that's like powered, that's doing DeFi, on any chain is going to make sense. You got, Aerodrome on Base. You got the Solana DeFi platforms on Ethereum. You have Uniswap, which we can kind of segue into a little bit now, turning on their fee switch.
The Uniswap thing is interesting. My concern, though, is look at the volume, right? Like Uniswap volume is declining because most of the activity is on Solana. So is it a good move? Absolutely, for their ecosystem. Is it going to be the most lucrative move? That's really tough to say.
Yeah. So based on historical numbers, Bread Guy did a revenue comparison here with looking at Uniswap's what the buy would be, like the holder revenue essentially would be between Hyperliquid, Uniswap, and Pump.Fun. And Uniswap is more than Pump.Fun, but less than 50% of Hyperliquid. So definitely a non-zero like bit of buy pressure coming on the Uni token. We did see the Uniswap token jump 25% on the day. It just feels like Uniswap is like one of the, like they had so much potential. They're one of like the relics of like last cycle that had a huge lead and moat and then just didn't capitalize or innovate. Like you had MetaMask, you had OpenSea, you had Uniswap, all of these massive moats and leads. And like, it felt kind of obvious, like for any of them, like what the play was. It was like OpenSea release a token, Uniswap, turn on the fees. Like we've been talking about this Uniswap fee switch for years, it feels like. And for MetaMask, launch a token or incentivize the wallet. Instead, they've, lagged in UX behind other EVM wallets like Rabby, and then they still don't have like a token to like, drive support for their platform. So this is gonna be interesting. I think that DeFi as a whole could benefit not only from the staking legislation, but from general crypto market or market structure being passed, which I think we're beginning to see. So I'm gonna have my eye on DeFi, and like, I don't know if it's like make a basket of DeFi or just like try to pick the fastest horse and run with it. I don't know what your strategy normally is when you kind of like have a thesis on.
I want a long Pump.Fun.
Yeah,
that's what I want to do, Ray. I want a long Pump.Fun. I like the chart.
You pull up a chart. I kind of want to talk about Pump.Fun too.
I like the Pump.Fun chart, man. Maybe I'm smoking crack, but it's the first time in a while that the grave dancing's back. Last time we had this, dude, look at this this is a good chart, man. Higher lows. It looks good. Higher lows. Pump.Fun feels good. I would buy this chart. Send this thing to 10 Billy. That's the line. We're sending it here.
Do we get another meme coin season, and when?
You don't even need another meme coin season, dude. Look how much volume they're still doing. This would be my trade. 140% to the upside, 40% downside. I would cut it here on a break below this. If I take profit, I'd probably TP1 like here. TP1 at 6.9 bill. TP2 at previous all-time highs, which is 8.6. TP3 just under 10. Probably like right there.
All right, so if anyone just listening, Easy's got the pump chart up. He's saying he's going to cut losses at 2.2 bill. He likes a long here. Take profits at just under 7, just under 8, and just under 10. Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm kind of upset I missed the dips down to 3. It's a matter of is this the entry?
I mean, I don't think it's a bad entry, and I think you just average down. I don't think you full port here. But I like this chart. I like this chart a lot. This is exactly the setup that I would have. This would be my take profit 1, 2, and 3. This is the whole setup.
I like it.
And this is a swing trade. This isn't like an overnight run. This is a swing trade.
I think for take profit 3 to happen, you need to have a meme coin season. Even take profit 2 to get to all-time highs. I think you need a meme coin season. Like you're gonna need something silly. And I don't know when we get that. Like I think right now we've shifted scales. Like so if you think about meme coins as a whole, we started out like with these utility tokens, and then people were saying like, hey, I've been holding these utility tokens for years. Nothing has came of it. It's all VC money they've been dumping on us. I'm going to go to meme coins, which have no value, fully unlocked at launch. There's no like hanging cliffs and all that. And then meme coins had their run, and now it seems like we've rotated back into utility. It's just a matter of like when you think utility season would end and memes would kind of fire up again. And I don't know. Could be next summer.
Maybe.
It feels like things are hot right now. You got Monad, you got Mega. A disappointment on both of those fronts. Maybe you see a swing into memes January, February, because Mega I think is launching January. But
I mean, dude, so when I look at this, your entry here at 4.4 and a stop loss at 2.6, like your stop loss is less than 50%, right?
Yep.
Which is great. And your upside target here is 50%, 100%, 140%.
Yeah, I know. I understand. Yeah, I understand. Like this trade looks really good. I'm just nervous that we sit between stop loss and take profit 1 for ages in this trade.
Yeah, probably
is my thought. Like, I think to get maybe take profit 1 hits with some like big news, but I think take profit 2 and 3 in this scenario are like we need meme coin season to run around.
And that's why if you can get back to take profit 1, you ride the trade for free. Now you can just sit comfortably and just profits and hang out. That's what I always do. My take profit 1 is always initials.
Yeah, I like the setup. I like the trade. Yeah, let's see. I've always done much better like during meme coin season in meme coins versus a long and hold on the platform.
I like the Aster chart too.
I mean, this one, we've liked this one a number of times now.
I know. I still like this chart.
You're still holding some here?
Yeah. Not a lot, but I have the bag I still have. It's all profits, so like I don't care that I'm just holding it.
Okay.
But it just feels like it's coiling. Like this thing's set for a break, and if it breaks, it goes to $1.50.
Yeah, and we did pull up the volume on DeFi Llama. They are the #1 perp dex by far.
Like this is the move you're probably looking for, is something like this. A 55 gain to a 23 risk. That's a 2-to-1. I like those odds.
We need to do a new 10K challenge.
I would buy Aster, Pump, Hype, probably Uniswap, but I don't like the entry on Uniswap. But yeah, Aster, Pump, Hype would be the 3 that I'd mainly consolidate and buy into here. Those 3 are the most interesting to me. Trying to think what else. Like Chainlink has sold off, basically reran that entire downward move. Still not bad though, dude. Like this chart's not bad. You're holding higher lows consistently since 2024.
We talked about
that's what I like. Like this is a good chart. Every single one of these is a higher low. Look at this. Consistently making higher lows. I just wish this made a higher high. I wish this saw like $32. And I would have been like, yeah, you buy this dip.
Do you pull up Athena?
Yeah.
And that's another one you've been bullish on.
Another one. Another higher low chart. Look at this. Obviously, you had the liquidation cascade here, which I'm mainly writing off in my brain, but you're getting higher lows, consistently getting higher lows. So I don't know. I feel like this is a good buy. Same idea, same exact setup. You buy here, you cut if we make a new low. Oh my God, why is my computer bugging? 1 sec.
And the only reason we got that liquidation wick that low on this one versus others is because of the DPEG on Binance.
Yeah.
People getting really scared.
But like, I like you basically hold for this downside risk, a 24% downside move, and your upside potential is 188% back to the highs.
I think that this one might be the DeFi trade.
So do I. I like the Athena trade here. You're holding upward momentum continually, and your upside target is so good. Like, this is the setup. This is the setup for a long-term trade on this. This is the setup. You have the downside wick target of this previous low. Oh my God, my computer's just freaking out right now. There we go.
Try throwing a horse on it.
It is lower highs. So that is the other concern, is you do have lower highs consistently. So like, you got to be cautious, which is why we only let for a 25% downside move. But dude, I would take a 25% loss for 188% gain every fucking day. And even then, maybe you drop it. Maybe, even this, even just to run back to 52, you're looking at a 25% downside move for a 76% upside move. That's a 3-to-1. Like, these are the risk reward trades you want to make. That's what I look at, is like, what sets up for good risk reward trades here. Athena looks good. I like the Chainlink move here because same exact idea. You just basically are going to trade these exact same moves. You enter, ideally, if you can get an entry like here for an upside move to 50% with a downside move of 28, that's a good move. Like, this feels good to me. I like these setups. That feels good. 50. That's a 2-to-1. So you have 2-to-1 on Link. You have a 3-to-1 on Athena. And this isn't even going back to all-time highs. This is just trading a bounce, right? Aster I really like because you're looking here towards this line, which I'm like, yeah, that's very interesting to me for another 2-to-1. So these are all 2-to-1 trades, which are like, these are the setups you want to trade. You trade the 2-to-1 opportunity to risk 25% to make 50. That's a good trade setup, in my opinion, especially for like size. That's the thing. So, I mean, Athena, I like Hyperliquid as well. I've had my lines on that. Aster, Athena, Chainlink, and Pump. These would be the ones I'd probably make trades on.
I like it. It's just which one to
draw.
Like, I hate taking multiple trades. It's like you gotta pick one and you gotta like stick with it. I feel like, or at least that's how I have to trade. Because if I'm in multiple, then like I get very. I mean, I guess the way to go into it is like have your stop losses and take profits and just let it ride. But I always get antsy when I'm in like 4 or 5 different trades because you're
I get. Like that's fair.
Too. Like you're at the you could be losing, winning all of them.
I think that's fair.
Done.
But I also think that like, dude, this trade, I mean, I don't even hate it to hear. Like, Pump looks good. That's the thing. And I would drop this down to like your entry here. You're looking at a 25 to 61 return here. That feels good. Like, I don't know. We basically just outlined multiple alts that look like they want to go for a 2-to-1 risk reward trade on these. They all look higher lows. So I don't know. I like these setups. I like these setups a lot. Those would be the coins I'd be trading. Aster, Pump.Fun, Athena, and like those 4 would be the 4 that I really like.
Awesome. I'm gonna add them to my list. We'll be taking a look at them later today. Maybe jumping in one of those trades with you. You see the McRibs coming back today?
I did. And that's usually good.
Yeah, I saw McRib come back today. I have to get myself a McRib just in honor of the Bitcoin price chart. But looking at the McRib returning and the Bitcoin price, it's been pretty bullish on all accounts, I'd say. Do we hit a new all-time high in November?
Maybe. I mean, I don't think so, personally.
Are you trading any of the Bitcoin price, like yearly price stuff on Polymarket?
No, I don't trade the long-term crypto stuff. I'd rather just leverage trade. Is that a giant chicken nugget behind me? Yeah, it is. That right there is a giant chicken nugget. Travis Scott McDonald's collab.
That's really funny. I think that's going to do it for today's show. We've got everything that I've got on here to talk about. So thank you for listening. It's been a wonderful episode of the show. You can catch us Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Watch us back on all major podcasting platforms. Catch us on Spotify. Catch us on Apple. You can watch us live on YouTube or Zora if you prefer. We'll be in there looking at comments as well. Thanks again for listening. Have a